Hey guys, it's Neil here, the Great Apostate. Hope you're doing well. So I'm going to do a little video here in light of the ones that were done by JW Primetime, by Joel, through the Vast Apostate Army. And I wanted to kick in my 2 cents too. And it's regarding the Lloyd Evans continuance of the scandal. Many of you will be aware, some of you will not be aware, that it turned out recently that Lloyd admitted to his own Patreons and his own viewers that he had been involved for a long time in using, and I would say abusing, sex workers, prostitutes, all over the world. Women from around the globe, he's been paying for sex. Now, I don't know, a lot of us were ex-Jehovah's Witnesses, so we should have some morals about this. We should remember that this is gross, and that sex work is not work. It is exploitation of vulnerable women. We should know that somebody who does that is creepy beyond belief. And I like to think higher of the ex-JW community, that we would support such a person. But apparently that hope was misplaced, because although he did lose about half his Patreons initially, he's getting back up to what he had before. Now, I mean, to be fair to Lloyd said at the time, hey, listen, I wasn't using underage prostitutes. That's just slander. And I thought, okay, fair enough, because, I'm sure Lloyd checked each and every one of their IDs before hiring them. I'm sure that's exactly what he did, isn't it? But anyway, setting that aside. New information came out recently with leaked letter and a leaked email. The letter was a rebuttal to a letter that was not released, and that was the release of that was a letter by his wife to him, and then he'd written a letter which he actually called his rebuttal. And I always thought when I read it, I thought it's a good sign you're in with a decent marriage partner. Somebody, empties their soul to you about your infidelity, and you say, hang on a second, let me write you a rebuttal letter. But so the rebuttal letter has come out with huge sections of it are simply quotes from her letter, so we can certainly get the gist of what her feelings were on the issue. I'm not going to name her, because others have, but I don't like to do that because she deserves as much privacy as I can possibly give her. So this rebuttal letter is out there. What's not out there as well is an email that he sent to her from, I believe, from Thailand, where he was angry that I believe she'd asked for a divorce or a separation or whatever. And he was angry. The letter basically goes, I don't want to talk too much about it. And here's the rub. I'm not going to talk too much about it, except obviously it was mostly about his desire for an open marriage and his desire to beat back the points that she had made all the time, and him claiming that his sexuality is completely fine, and that it's really nobody's business what he does with his penis. So anyway, what I did is I did 3 videos. I did two 15-minute videos, a bit longer actually, where I read this letter out, and I've uploaded them, and they're ready to go. But you see, the problem with putting them out there, I also did a 3rd video where I read the email. And what comes across if you read them is that they're the work of a deeply narcissistic and damaged human being. You can't doubt that. You can't read the letter and say to yourself, yeah, that's a normal person. That's a guy I want to support. Right? Because when you read it, you just think to yourself, oh my, like this. I don't indulge in extramarital affairs, and I'm not saying this makes me better than Lloyd, because I'm not an atheist and I don't believe in such a thing. I believe in God, and I'm going to follow what the Bible says, and it says that no man is good. So I'm not going to fall into the feeling of claiming that I'm better than Lloyd, because I don't have some of his faults. I have plenty of my own. So this video doesn't come at a point where I'm slagging off Lloyd. But here's the thing. I've never asked you for much money. I had a Patreon going. At its height, it got $40. Whenever I organised events, all the money went to those events. The only thing that's ever come to me, and not all of that, is the money from my book, The Great Apostate, available on Amazon. Which is quite funny, I'm told. And it's even edited now, so the spelling mistakes are mostly gone. But so I'm not saying that I'm better than Lloyd, but I never took your money. And from my perspective, I don't understand why you keep giving him money. I mean, anybody who does this, anybody who sees a person living this kind of lifestyle and behaving in this abhorrent way to a partner, in what I would describe as a manipulative and deceitful way. But more than that, I would actually say in the UK we have a new crime. Now I'm loath to accept it. It's the idea of coercive behaviour, right? And basically the idea is they want to find reasons and ways to send guys to jail, because it's really hard to send them to jail for rape. So they're trying to find a whole bunch of other crimes they can charge them with, right? And this new one they've come out with is coercive behaviour, I believe it's called. And the idea being is, the actions that you've committed over a number of years have basically made this person feel cowed and, and unsafe. And you're responsible for that. And, they're putting people in jail for that. So sometimes I agree with the cases, sometimes I don't. In this case, I really would. I would say that the letters that I've seen and the way he speaks to his wife indicates a man who is behaving in a coercive manner. And it's so horrible to see, and yet people are continuing to fund his lifestyle. And as I said, I made 3 videos about this dude. But because Lloyd is such a litigious person, it's very dangerous to talk about him. He is suing. Apparently he's suing me. I don't know anything about this, though. I certainly never received any information about it, or even information of what I did wrong. So he says he's suing me. I know he's suing other people, he claims. He certainly asked them all for money, because he has a habit of asking for money, doesn't he? And you have a habit of paying for it. Now, don't be annoyed if I'm telling you off, because I am. But you should be told off. When you look at his Patreon numbers, you should be sad. When I left the Jehovah's Witnesses, I thought that it was a different time with XJWs online. And I'm not saying I was the start of it. I wasn't. There was so many before me. JW Struggle. I mean, you had so many people that were going, Katie Kitten was going, so many excellent YouTubers. And one of those YouTubers was Lloyd. And Lloyd actually was very, very kind to me. Posted a link on JW Survey to my first ever YouTube video. So I don't even have, I don't do this with bitterness of hatred or jealousy for his money. I'm just saying, why would you support this guy? Because he needs help, and the help isn't money. The help sometimes is to fall as low as you can go so you can get back up and go, boy, I made a fool of myself. And I've been there. And I've done that. And, and I'll do it again. And I'll get up again and I'll rebuild with worn out tools. Because that's what we do. So anyway, that's where I was. I want to post these videos. If there's anybody who's a lawyer, hit me up. Send me a message, and maybe we can email chat, and you can tell me what my prospective chances of getting sued are if I read out his private emails. Because I would like to, because I do think it's important, and I do think he made the information available himself when he did that semi-drunken podcast, which I believe garnered him thousands of dollars, so I was told. But somebody let me know if they think I can get away with it legally, because I don't want to, but I also want to maintain some anonymity for his wife and his children, because they don't deserve this, Anyway, guys, let me know what you think, and all I can say, if I still have any clout in the XJW community whatsoever, because I tried my hardest to be of use to you guys. I did my damnedest, and I spent day and night. The amount of police visits I had from potential suicide letters, the amount of times that I met people who were miserable and sad because they'd been kicked out of their home, or the money that was sent, times when at a time when I was actually homeless and living month to month in a 2-bedroom house with 4 of us. And I was saying to my wife, listen, this person needs our help. Can we send them some money? And I look back at it now and I think, Neil, you were so stupid. I wouldn't go again. I wouldn't go back and change it. But I tried so hard. If anything I ever did means anything, ask yourself if you want to support this guy. Anyway, guys, have a lovely day. I hope you're doing well. It's beautiful. Start of a spring day in Northern Ireland. I don't want to make videos about ex-Jehovah's Witnesses. I don't want to make videos about the Jehovah's Witnesses. As time has gone on and the world has gotten darker, I begin to realise that they are by far the least important of our problems. I want to talk about 15-minute cities and forced vaccinations and wars that shouldn't be happening. That's what I want to talk about. That's what I'm going to continue to talk about, assuming I don't get sued into the dust by that prick. Guys, have a lovely day. Take care.